Experienced First, reporting from ADM's Happy Hour event in Chicago. I'm joined by Micah Greenhill, who is Senior Marketing Director for Beverages. Hi, Micah.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing really well.
So what's some of the main trends you're noticing in the sort of healthy beverage space?
Yeah, so what I call it is the evolution of functional. So it's all about how health and wellness ingredients are starting to trend in new and unique ways. Carbonated soft drinks are a great example of that. So for such a long time, we saw that the CSD space was demonized. This is unhealthy, or maybe it was viewed more as a treat. It's indulgent. But now we're starting to see that it's getting these functional claims popping up in it. Digestive health claims, especially prebiotic and probiotic claims, are really where this has started. We're starting to see it expand into other claims as well, such as hydration. So that's the huge trend right now that we're seeing within the non-alcoholic space from a health and wellness perspective.
And what do you think the main factors driving this trend?
I think what we're seeing is that the health and wellness space used to be, what is this not doing for me? So we saw a lot of, hey, this is low in sodium, this is low in sugar, this is, no artificial flavors. It's all about what does this not have. What's shifted with consumers is they've moved away from what is not in this to saying what is in this and what is this actually going to be doing for me. So that's been the big mindset shift that we've seen with consumers.
Okay, and of course many consumers are struggling with the cost of living crisis and affordability issues. To what extent are they willing to sacrifice product quality and healthiness for cost?
When we have surveyed consumers, it says, do you want affordability, or do you want value and the great taste, great flavor? What they've really said is yes. They want both. If you look at younger consumers, particularly Generation Z, they do tend to be more cost conscious, which makes sense. They're a little younger, have less disposable income. But if you look at what's important to them, number one is going to be cost conscious, and then number two is a really good value. So it's saying, what is the best bang for my buck that I can get here? Within the food service context, for example, they're willing to travel far to get what they need, but they really want what's that best bang for my buck. So most unique, delicious experience that I can get at a value.
And where do you think this planetary health and sustainability ranks in the mind of consumers, particularly younger consumers?
It's extremely important, particularly for younger consumers. We see that if we look at even outside of the beverage industry, and just look at what are the top concerns for Generation Z, sustainability, environmentally friendly, global warming, all of those rank as top of mind concerns for those consumers. It tends to guide many of the purchases that they make from a ingredient sourcing standpoint as well as packaging.
And it seems, based on your research, that consumer demands are increasingly diverse. What do you see as the main challenges for beverage brands?
Yeah, so one of the challenges is that you don't want to paint consumers with one broad brush and say, all of my consumers are like this. We really see that there's many different consumer cohorts that find different types of flavors, ingredient claims, health and wellness need states, even sugar content levels to be very, very different. And so the key challenge is, how do you get laser focused on that specific demographic that you're targeting so that you make something for them rather than painting all your consumers with this broad brush stroke and not being as irresistible to the consumer.
Okay, makes sense. And as a final question, how do you see this space evolving over the next 5 years?
What I think we're going to see is more of an increase on the health and wellness space. If we look at the concerns of Generation Z from a health and wellness standpoint, right now they say focus and mental health are some of the top areas for them. Mental health relaxation beverages have struggled with other generations. This is the first time it started to gain a little bit of traction with ingredients like adaptogens and nootropics starting to trend. We also are seeing, very well documented that consumer attention spans are getting shorter as they get younger. And so as these consumers that have a smaller attention span go to college, go to the workforce, they're going to look to products that help boost that attention. So again, the nootropics, high caffeine beverages, clean caffeine like yerba mate, green coffee extract are going to be very appealing to those consumers. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that as this consumer continues to grow up and then increase in buying power.
That's brilliant, Micah. Thanks for your time tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.